Here we have an example of an asphalt stabilized adobe that was actually manufactured here in Tucson, Arizona by a company named Old Pueblo Adobe. Now they're not in business anymore, but you can still buy asphalt stabilized adobe, but not here in Tucson. It's made up in Santan, Arizona. Now this brick is a combination of dirt, sand, and asphalt. Very similar to what an asphalt road is made out of, but an asphalt road has no dirt in it. They come in different sizes. This is a typical building size right here, about 10 by 4 by 16. Here we have 3 samples of burnt adobe. And the 3 samples come from 3 different cities in Mexico. Top one is from San Luis, Mexico. The one on the left is from Carababi, Mexico, and the one on the bottom right is from Sasabe, Mexico. Their contents is identical. They're all made out of clay, nothing added to them. They're just clay, and they're put into forms, dried, and then put into ovens, which is why they're called burnt adobe. You can actually see burn marks on them occasionally. So this is predominantly what we have in Tucson, Arizona, are these 3. The top one, San Luis, is actually very rare. Less than 1% of the houses here in Tucson are built with San Luis adobe, where the other 2, Sasabe and Carababi, are about 50-50. Construction started in the the late 1930s is when they started with Carababi burnt adobe, and then Sasabe kind of took over in the late 70s, and they stopped building out of these adobes for general construction for houses about 20 years ago. Now the quality also varies from one adobe to another, and actually it can vary from 1 year to another depending on when they were made. But the bottom left one, made in Carababi, Mexico, was probably the highest quality of all the adobes. They'll handle more water than the others will. They're just harder. The clay, I think, was just better quality than the other 2. San Luis is probably the second best, the one from San Luis, Mexico, on top, and the weakest as far as deteriorating from water erosion is the Sasabe on the bottom right. Here we have a sample of cement stabilized adobe. This you can buy locally here in Tucson from a place called Tucson Adobe, and it's made out of basically approximately 10% cement and 90% dirt. Standard building size would probably be 12 by 4 by 16, and it needs to be sealed like all other types of adobe.